Welcome, everybody. Welcome back. It's so good to see you. We're back here for a new season of ProBots 2025 Sideloaded. Sideloaded is where we get to try and experiment with new forms of ProBots that you get to see. This is a different format. And we start this season off with the Wildcards, where you get a chance to see bots that you will not normally see on ProBots, but are active on the ladder. So, to welcome that, we'll get to see, and let's bring on the casters. And one giant box. I'm joined here with Endersword and Ketrock.
How's it going?
Back, boys. So, Sideloaded, we get the chances. It's a shorter season than normal, but we get to experiment a lot with. It's the last season of the year, and we get to experiment. So this season specifically, we are splitting up the wild cards, and the wild cards are essentially going to be bots that are a little bit lower on the ladder. They can add a little bit of weirdness to the overall season if they, we can see dark horses that we've never seen before. And it's best of one. So if your bot breaks during that best of one, you could really put an upset. So we have one half, and Laughing Games on his channel is doing the other half. And both of these two, one of these, our side will produce one bot, his will another, and they will be in the round of 8 from the top bots on the ladder. So we'll get into the format, but instead, guys, are you excited to be back for this final season of the year?
I am. And yeah, I think exciting new format, newish anyway, to see some of the ones that we don't usually get to.
Yeah, I mean, I've been pretty busy with life, so a lot of these bots are very new to me as I've been checked out of the scene for a little bit. So I'll be interested to see what these new guys are capable of.
I mean, I've been watching these bots fairly carefully, and there is going to be, I think, some interesting strategies that come out some of these bots that most people aren't used to. And I think you guys, before we were starting, we were talking about the virtue of having these kind of open brackets, quote unquote open brackets, where you will see things that normally won't make it. I imagine snipes might be a part of it. I don't know how. Actually, no, they didn't get to prepare. So I guess that's one key thing to remember. These are actually from the ladder. There isn't any updates. There isn't any submissions. There is one submission after these wild cards are done, but these are straight from the ladder, so they don't get a chance to submit for it. So we're gonna really get pretty much the raw deal of whatever they had up there to see what they produce. So it's kind of like an open bracket, I guess, for
it's
bots.
Kind of gauntlet style, which is fun. So if you're kind of going to claw your way up from match 1, you're going to have to go through 6 of these in a row to even make it into the real bracket.
Well, actually, why don't we showcase the format and give people an idea of what to expect? So yeah, so the wild card, single elimination, King of the Hill style. So like Andrew sort of said, you're gonna have to essentially a gauntlet. So the highest seed on that will essentially only have to play one match. And if you're the lowest seed, you have to play 5 matches. No, 6 matches. 6 matches total to get out. So yeah, there's a bit of a climb for that. And then after that, one top one from that advances, and they go into the round of 8, where we go to single elimination again, but best of 3s, and then obviously our grand finals and semifinals, best of 5 and best of 7. So that is pretty much a little bit more familiar what people are familiar with, but we'll get to see we'll take a look at the brackets and we can see what kind of maps, what kind of bots we got going on here. Yeah, this is a little janky, but it's okay. We love you just the same. So we're gonna start off with DominionDog and Apidae, and then Mike. You can play like Mike.
Mike.
Yeah. Did we ever find out how this is pronounced? Is Aeolus? Aeolus?
I think that was what we thought. Aeolus. Yeah.
So whoever comes from the game for Mike goes up to have to play against Aeolus, and then LunaxVRR, Sharkbot, which now we're going to get to names that people are familiar with, Sharkbot, and then SharpenedEdge.
And inspired by the name Mike, I've decided that this format is the Mike Tyson's Punch-Out format. and I think DominionDog is going to be our little Mac. So we'll go up after he gets to 3. We'll give everyone a 9-digit code that you can type in to get back to that spot, and then he'll see if he can go into the next level.
I'm a little surprised at DominionDog being so low.
Yeah,
I think
too.
that's a little odd.
Yeah, like honestly, I'm looking at this and it's like you expect the lowest ranked bots to be the worst, but I'm like DominionDog is very good veteran, and Apidae looked kind of awesome last season, although I think he ran into tough competition. So I could see someone actually like running the entire gauntlet and going all the way to the top.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, it's a little odd, I actually, to see DominionDog so down at the bottom.
He might have joined the ladder late. Because I know the Java framework, no one's taking care of it anymore. So he came on, I was like, why is all these abilities not work anymore? I think that was from a few weeks ago. So yeah, he might have just hopped on the ladder a few weeks ago.
Which is actually good to mention that we have new maps and new patch. So 5.014 is what these bots are running on right now.
So last season we were 1 patch behind. This season we're 1 patch behind, but it's still 1 patch ahead of where it was last season.
Yeah. So we're 1 patch behind because actually we're working on 1.15 now, but I don't think there's that much drastic. Is there a drastic change from 1.5 to 4? 1.4? I can't remember. But we are caught up. Yeah. As soon as we caught up, the new patch came out. So we had a lot of problems with maps, a lot of problems with getting that done, but it is a newer set of bot patches from the last one. So we're gonna see maybe energy overcharge. I don't know if that's, we might have to wait till the main bracket to see energy overcharge, perhaps.
That'll be good.
Yeah, I don't
very
know.
Very powerful in the real StarCraft meta. In fact, just made Protoss by far the strongest race, well, I would say.
Yeah, I would actually be surprised, I guess, to see. If we see that in here, I'd be impressed. But I feel like we won't see that until the. Usually, the higher bots have more time to work to work on those kind of like more fancier stuff. While I think maybe a lot of lower bots are just working to get their
You can
basics.
see them finally fully using oracles to their potential.
Oh my God! If only we were so lucky.
Yeah.
Predictions. Let's talk about a little bit of predictions. Who you're thinking, who you like, and actually, do you want to go back to the bracket and see if there's anyone you guys favor, like, or don't like? Well, not don't like, but like who you don't think is gonna do maybe as well.
I guess it's more a case of just lack of familiarity. So like, I don't know Mike. I don't know LunaxVRR. Some of the others I do. But then, yeah, it makes me curious, DominionDog being so low. If Ketrock's explanation makes sense, if it just joined late, then that may make sense. But if it joined late and is kind of broken because some things don't work and didn't kind of update to that, then who knows?
Could be both, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, some mix. Like, obviously, you prioritize. If a bunch of things break, may have only fixed some. So that may explain some of it. But and then towards the top, like Sharkbot's good. SharpenedEdge, again, is just kind of well-rounded and always there, so makes sense. But yeah, I want to see the couple that I'm not familiar with, Mike and Luna.
What about yourself, Ketrock? I know you've been away, but what would you pick for?
I think for like probably 5 different seasons, that Sharkbot was my long shot choice to win the whole thing, and he's never gone through for that for me. But just having energy overcharge in my mind, it's like, okay, Sharkbot definitely has probably implemented that. Now I want to see how it works with a bot too, because like there is some decision making to energy overcharge, but it's also just a macro mechanic. Like if a bot can use it literally every 60 seconds, how strong will that actually be? It could be ridiculously strong.
I would like to see how
so he's probably my pick to get out of there.
Could be nuts. You could run a permanently rotating like mineral line stasis.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just have like oracles going back and forth, constantly freezing things. I don't know if some bots wouldn't be able to respond to that.
And they did nerf it in the most recent patch, but since we're not on that patch, it's still pretty good. Like right now, if you warp into Templar and use energy overcharge on it, you got 2 storms instantly. So stuff like that, I could see Sharkbot taking big advantage of.
Yeah, we always knew Kader and Amulet was going to come back someday.
Yeah, it's like not built in though.
Reborn in a whole new form in a static energy charge. All right, so just in case guys give you the idea of how tonight's gonna go, we're gonna go through. These are all best of one, so we'll do, 3 games, and then we'll take a little break, and then we'll go and finish the last 3 games of the night, and we'll talk about it. We'll see how it is. For now, though, I'll give it to the casters, and you two will take it away.
Alrighty.
All right, been a while, huh?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I wasn't sure we were doing it, and then the Sideloaded slips on in. So yeah, I think it will be interesting. And yeah, I want to see what the current state is. So the first match is going to be DominionDog versus how do we pronounce this again? Aeolus or something.
Something like that, yeah. I can't remember.
I wanted to say Kaide for a second. That's a streamer. But whatever. Yeah, so I think a lot of potential of these. DominionDog's been around for like quite a while. But yeah, and it's going to be a best of one. So we often have to take into account like multiple builds and what's going to change if something loses or whatever. That won't be a factor in this. We're just going to see kind of first impression. I think in a lot of ways, maybe this is more similar to what you would get on the ladder, where it's just kind of a bunch of random one-off games, like and some bots that you don't usually see actually kind of have the number of other bots that we do, just because of build orders or like specific things, attributes about them. So yeah.
And we've done this gauntlet style once before, and it was actually really entertaining because every match is between 2 bots that are like right next to each other in rank on the ladder. So every match we're not going to get like an Aeolus versus a 60 lines of code bot, So it's going to be all pretty close matches, I would think.
For sure. So we play this one on Incorporeal. It is, however, corporeal. They won't just fall through the map, but like.
Is that what that means?
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Incorporeal. No solid form, or whatever.
Yeah. It's good to know if we ever lose ChatGPT, we still have Ender Sword.
That's exactly. I'll help out. Yeah.
How much do you charge for tokens?
If it's more about processing speed, I'll get back to you. If I don't know the word, I have to go check a dictionary. So I'll be back to you. So we are ready to hop right into it. Going in here now. Let's check it out. Don't know if we have full intros or anything. Probably not. No, maybe, but they don't match. Okay.
We used that DominionDog twice.
Yeah.
Apidae. Okay. Close enough.
All right. Just mentally reverse those.
Yeah.
And that'll be it. So up here on the left, DominionDog, and down on the bottom right is Apidae. Apidae.
So the only thing I know about DominionDog is that he hopped on channel and he's like, what happened? Why can't I salvage my bunkers anymore?
Happens.
So I think like any ability ID that's changed, I'm looking at the Cyclone, which I had massive change. We may not see the best control out of DominionDog with, depending on how up to date he is.
Makes sense. Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that for sure. That would definitely mess with you. I think that would be like the most annoying change. Nothing fundamentally changes, but you have to go change all your IDs for everything.
Yeah. It is funny how salvage is a completely new ability just because it can be interrupted now.
Yeah.
To a user, it feels the same. But I guess I got coded completely different, but who knows?
Fun. So Probe there went on a little trip. I don't know what it was looking for down at the third. We'll scout around the natural, see that nothing is coming yet, and not actually go into the main. Yeah. So it may be looking to proxy.
I think he's just scouting for expansions, looking for a 3-way lover.
Yeah.
Put the natural at the third idea. He will end up scouting the natural base now, though, so he knows that DominionDog's gone for a fast expand. DominionDog himself getting a good scout in, seeing every structure in the Protoss base thus far.
And yeah, Protoss early infantry. I've never heard Protoss referred to as infantry, but I guess it makes sense. I guess zealots are frontline infantry, in a way.
Yeah, we actually need a name for that. Like gateway units. That's
Yeah,
it's too descriptive.
true. There's
I always make fun of the U.S. for not actually naming their country. It's just like this random description of what their
Yeah.
country actually is.
Yeah, it's just these things in this place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I guess if
yeah.
the U.S. can do it, then Protoss can do it too.
We'll be the provinces of Northern America until Trump takes us over. Yeah, I guess I always just make the distinction between melee unit and ranged unit. So yeah, that's why the grouping of gateway units never totally makes sense, because it is a mix of those two things. But yeah, Zealot is at least coming across, and there's more of something. So looks like it's almost like a non-proxy proxy that we're just trying to go in. Yeah.
But they don't look super interested in attacking, actually.
No.
Although they are chasing this
Yeah.
Reaper, which pulled them into a bunker. Not good news for these zealots. You got a couple more units crossing the map, and it looks like it's probably stalkers now. But this bunker will be very handy against that, as they get a couple free zealot kills.
Those ones will turn around, and it looks like they're getting a stalker and sentry. Okay, that was a stalker and sentry as well. Sentries are always an interesting one that hasn't been fully explored really in the bot game, largely because it's really, really hard to do the understand positioning and like the layout of the map and everything like that to make smart decisions. There's a few things I think you can kind of pre-script in, like the ramp is exactly here, do exactly this, that sort of thing. But to just use it to reshape a battle is pretty difficult. We'll see it used for, the force field, the aura sometimes, and we see it for hallucinations sometimes.
Yeah, Guardian Shield.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the human meta, it's actually it's basically like built-in map hack for Protoss now. Combined with
Yeah.
energy overcharge, you get almost
Yeah.
unlimited Phoenix scouts in the early game.
Yeah.
So you can keep really good tabs on your opponent. I do see the energy is low on that Nexus, but I think it's all been put into Chronos on the Forge probably, as he is getting a pretty quick +1 actually. And an interesting place natural base.
Hallucinated Immortal,
Why not?
just because. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe if he tried to see, he wants him to scan or something and see.
But the scan would show that's hallucination as well.
Yeah. I don't know that. But it'll go. There's still nothing up here like a proxy pylon or anything like that to help reinforce this. Nice defensive positioning, tank, decent amount of bio, and the bunker, of course.
Yeah. Even the missile turret in case of some DT shenanigans.
Yeah, or you need to detect a fake immortal.
So
Very important.
the only good thing for Apidae here is I decided not to commit to that attack, as that would not have gone well. But he is very far behind on economy, having, I think his Nexus is just finishing up now.
Yeah, we'll peek again and retreat again. Even if it did want to commit, everything is very, very strung out here and separated on two paths. I think it's okay. That's not going to help.
He is using a sentry ability. So we can discuss how effective they are, but they are being used. We'll give him that.
The late tank Guardian Shield. There's Hallucinate to get a sense of what's going on. Looks like the bio did not realize that's fake and the whole thing moved up. You could potentially, if you saw that was a pattern, you could use that to try and draw some of this into the base as you hit the front. But I think any attack up here is doomed for the moment.
Yeah. But economies are probably even again now. It looks like there's 4 gas going for Apidae, so yeah, as long as he doesn't fight into this entrenched position, which he's not doing, I think he's in fine shape to have a shot this game. Although that DominionDog army is starting to get quite scary, especially with the Marauders and Siege Tanks and Stim, which are all quite deadly to the gateway units.
Indeed. We'll see if this is an attempted move out or potentially a move to the third to take the third sort of thing. There's an SCV trying to get out of this
Yeah.
out of this pack, but being kind of mosh pitted back into place.
Yeah, I think the SCV is trying to build the third, and the
Yeah.
army is trying to protect the SCV, and they're kind of conflicting there.
Yeah, that's definitely what's happening. It almost got free. It was getting to like the outside, and then more units came in and held them in place again. So, yeah, this is a case you get a mineral walk to get away from your own army.
It's like being in a mosh pit when you got to use the washroom. It's
Yeah,
like, can't get out of here.
Come on, guys.
Oh, I just revealed my Canadian status there, didn't I? To the restroom.
Indeed.
So interesting
yeah,
that there's no third base for either. So, I mean, we know why there's no third base for DominionDog, but
exactly. Two tanks on the flank trying to push it back. Yeah, this will be interesting. It looks like he keeps almost making forward progress, and then it just gets shoved way back. That is interesting. So, yeah. Would this be affected by an ability update at all? Probably not, but yeah.
there's a stalker warped into that little gap.
Oh yeah.
I think Apidae probably has the natural is whatever base is closest to your main base.
Yeah.
Main base. Yeah,
I
that's why I
think
end up over there.
Yeah, that explains the scouting pattern too, that it went to the third first. Because when I saw that, I'm like, even if they took an early like proxied like out of order base, it wouldn't be that early. But yeah, that may be why. But because this army is masked up here, one thing is if he pokes up at all, it may free the SCV.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
There he goes.
Yeah.
Third base, as well as a couple of stalkers down. Big stim and only one medevac, but I think that should be okay. He'll eventually heal that all up.
And this is not ideal. DominionDog just kind of moving forward into this very indecisive Apidae army.
Yeah, not the best kiting backwards, though, for these stalkers. They
Yeah.
not really abusing that range advantage they have over Marines. Now with the Zealots coming in, it makes it a little bit easier, but they didn't last very long either.
Yeah, this is just kind of a mow down. It's
Yeah.
we
Stim
constantly
Marauders and tanks is just so strong against gateway units. And there's no splash damage, which makes the Marines especially strong as well.
Yeah, and it felt too like DominionDog was not going to do any of this had it not seen a stalker and then followed the breadcrumbs all the way home. Like,
yeah, I mean, like not only was he blocking his expansion, but I think that was also keeping his army like on the defense, right? Like I need to set the third base with his army before I think of anything offensive.
Exactly. And I think DominionDog too is one of the ones that like basically maxes out before it does anything. We'll just kind of sit defensive until you're at 200. But this baited him into death. And, oh well, happens. But we see this a lot with bots that it's you either retreat and get the hell out of there or engage. But the kiting around the edge of things and constantly going back to as close as you can just gets you shot by tanks, gets you shot by everything. And yeah, it's just a weird behavior that tends to lead to disaster.
It's too bad too. Like if Apidae didn't push out there, I think he was establishing a third and he was pumping from 2 robos at the same time. It was probably all immortals, but even still, immortals aren't too bad. Like if he could have bought himself another 5 minutes of DominionDog being stuck, I think the game might have been his.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, you could have gotten an economy that's out of control and versus a stuck one, basically a bugged out build. So, so there we go. So DominionDog, our little Mac, the first Glass Joe has been defeated, and we're on to who is it next? Don Flamenco, I think. I forget, something like that.
Is it Mike or is Mike third?
Mike is our next coming up.
Okay.
So and I don't know anything about Mike. Not even sure the race. Yeah. So I guess we'll find out.
See if I can find him on the ladder here.
Yeah. We have a weird tradition of like a lot of AI bots are just named after dudes. Like we've had like Pauls and Mikes and just stuff like that, which is a little whatever. And it's almost never the name of the author. It's just someone. it strikes me when people name their dog just a people name. Like I have a friend whose dog's name is Doug,
That's just wrong.
and it's just weird to me.
Well, okay, I can get on board with Doug. I
Doug,
feel
it's-
like
it's
humans
simple,
named Doug
yeah.
or they have a dog's name. That
That's
sounds
true.
like a dog's name to me.
That is true. That is true.
So Mike is a bot that specializes in Marauder Rush, according to his bio.
Okay.
There's a high probability of concussion, and it's made by Pravesta, made in Python.
Nice, nice. Makes sense. All right, that could be interesting. So, given that DominionDog does tend to expand and then kind of wait, but usually with a bunker. So, if it's a rush, that would be interesting. If it's there kind of before, yeah, because, like Marauder rushes tend to be like you either have the response, or that's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like if this is a proxy Marauder Rush and we see the exact same build out of DominionDog is dead.
Yeah.
That was like
For sure.
Reaper into command center with a light bunker is like, that's not going to work at all.
Yeah.
But who knows? TBT is probably a completely different build for DominionDog, I would assume.
Yeah, I would think so. But yeah, we'll find out. This is on torches. So I always think, is there a map consideration? Generally in a mirror, less so. It'll mostly be, if it is a proxy, where's the proxy? How far away?
Yeah, that last map is actually, I think, has caused lots of issues with bots. The fact that the whole middle is like split in half, and then there's like a Zelnaga tower, which bots think they can walk through that path, but they can't. So the previous map was like that split in half we saw from Apidae. I think that happens a lot with other bots as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. We've seen that in a number of cases where, like, you get on the two parallel tracks and then just everything doesn't fight together, whatever.
Yeah, usually when bots look at terrain, they just say, can you walk on the terrain or not?
Yeah.
They don't consider things like, oh, there's destructible rocks creating a wall here, or there's mineral patches creating a wall here. Like, you need that special handling for that in your pathing. Otherwise, you end up just like splitting in half or smashing against a wall or something.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So I think we can jump right in and we'll see in this TBT. Will it be Mike, the dog's name, or DominionDog? Okay. We're we're just going to reset the clock arbitrarily to 25 seconds, then have it move weird for a moment, and then count down normally. So, yeah, I don't know. It's I mean, I expect a short one either way. Although DominionDog does tend to, even if it crushes like a cheese, it'll still just sit there until it gets to 200. Often, unless again it's baited out or something. But okay, now we're just randomly. The clock means nothing. Time is an arbitrary concept. But that's fine.
It's funny. I'm just looking at the ladder now. Like, since I'm not active on the ladder, I just assume the world revolves around me, and Irina's kind of dying off. But this is actually more bots on the ladder than I've seen in a long time. There's 86 bots right now.
Nice.
So,
Nice. Yeah,
almost all of them
that
have
is
bot in
pretty
their
good.
name as well.
That's how you know
Yeah.
the difference. And yet Mike does not. This is just the real Mike.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the guy. In fact, the author sounds more like a bot than Mike. maybe he filled out his bot to form
Backwards.
wrong or something.
Yeah, I remember when
bot
StarCraft 2 first came out, there was like when you first like created your account, it just said like name, and tons of people just put in their name. Like tons of, I remember like, and for months you could not change it. And so for months the ladder was just full of like Jeffrey. I'm like,
Yeah, that was an interesting first battle that we had there. I'm pretty confident, since there was like no way to use a keyboard and all the buttons were gigantic, that they thought the BattleNet was meant for controllers.
yeah. All right. I think we're good to go. Let's
Yeah,
hop
let's
in
do it.
here now. Alrighty. So we are here in game number 2. Down here on the bottom right is Mike, our red Terran.
And in the top right, interesting spawns on this map, we do have the blue Terran DominionDog already up 1-0 in or already through one round, I guess, of this gauntlet.
Yeah.
And now we get to find out if Mike is going to stop to build the barracks here, or whether that was just because of the interruption we had before.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly looks like that's what he's going to do. No, moving now. Build up. Here.
Another
It
SCV
still
heading out.
seems a little weird. So, yeah, okay, there we go. But this is pretty far away. I mean, it's a proxy in a place that's almost not that much quicker. So I think that may make a distinction in what's going on. DominionDog is not walling off or anything. So we may get a low ground expansion followed by bunkering or something like that. A scout is coming out.
I don't mind the position too bad. I mean, obviously he had time to get further up there, but it's not on the path between the bases, and it is about halfway there if you kind of look at the pathing on the map. So it's something.
Yeah, it's about hidden. I just think that he had time, like, given that he stopped and waited for minerals and everything, like, at least could have gotten further. It may not be the decisive factor, but generally if you have time to get it closer, and it's not going to put you more at risk. But I think there's other places he could have hit it up there that were just as good.
The other thing is, who knows how these positions are even selected. He might have an algorithm that just assumes it's cross spawns, and then on a map like this, it's a little less smart of a position.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point.
You also kind of want to randomize it a bit too, especially if you're always.
Yeah.
Oh, it actually caused a cancel there. Probably from the lack of barracks. Yeah, this is a response to what he scouted for sure. Fast
early.
As well.
Oh yeah, very very specifically calling it too. Terran early defend Marauders.
How do you know Marauders? One gas, is that the giveaway?
Maybe. That's probably exactly it. Yeah, because if it was proxied Marines, then there's not. So yeah, first Marauder will come. So he's got a Reaper out. Going for the factory will be good, I think, if he can get something out of there.
No bunker.
We'll
so right now, honestly, there's not much he can defend against this.
Yeah.
I guess a Reaper and 2 Marines could probably beat 1 Marauder, but it'd be close.
You could just use the depots to stall out too. Often that's a hard decision for bots to make. It's like withdrawal until I build some stuff, but that's certainly possible. And these aren't attacking right away, so it looks like they're grouping up maybe for 3 or 4. 3, yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind that decision either, especially if you get to concussive shell, because then you can maybe snipe down the fresh cyclone or the first tank.
Yeah.
Actually, scanning the high ground is an interesting choice as well. Like, it does allow him to range these Marines a bit.
Yeah, we'll back up a tiny bit here to regroup, but I think he could just kind of continue to push here.
Yeah, I'm gonna just guess that he's afraid of the high ground. He doesn't want to walk up the ramp without high ground vision. So as soon as that scan disappeared,
the problem is he'll wait for the vision, which gives time for the thing that he's scared of to appear.
Yeah, exactly. But he didn't lose a Marauder yet, and he is. And
these coming down is not
ground,
great. Yeah, that staying up there is kind of the key. But if he's scared of the tank, though, okay, we'll close
he's going
in.
after
But
the Reaper.
weirdly,
What are you doing?
oh, I thought he was just closing distance on the tank. I think he accidentally kind of ends up doing that, but that wasn't really the point. There is a Liberator that's on its way too. That obviously just cold shuts this down if it gets into the correct position.
You know, I
they're
actually
still
love
not
this.
attacking the damn tank though.
Honestly, the tank is the least threatening thing right now, just because of where he's standing. So I don't mind that he's shooting the SCVs first before taking out the tank.
There we go. It does go down, but the Liberator obviously clearing the rest up, and that's now your problem. And unfortunately, you cannot shoot the Liberator at all. So this may be
where is the Liberator?
Yeah, where is it? Yeah, okay.
Back in the middle line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of just traded out everything in terms of army. DominionDog did lose some SCVs as well. And we actually do have an expansion of Mike. So technically, Mike is ahead.
Yeah.
Tech-wise, I don't know how long this Marauder play is going to work out for him, but looks like he's kind of shut off
already,
Marauder production too.
he's already gone up to Starport. That's proxy too, though. The map is his, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mario used to play this way in TVP. He would just build his structures all over
Wherever.
the map, like literally nothing
Yeah.
in his main base.
Yeah. Yeah, in a lot of ways it makes sense. Like if you're the one that's super aggressive and you kind of know if I lose this aggression, I'm dead anyway, then it kind of doesn't matter. Good Liberator positioning.
Okay, pretty good fight there for DominionDog. The concussive shell and the outrange though allowed one Marauder to kill off like 2.5 Marines, so it wasn't terrible for Mike.
Yeah, Mike does have the worker advantage. That time, the Liberator missing here a little bit, and a Viking may be able to take it out. Yeah, especially if it just resieges.
Mike had a Liberator as well, did you not? Or not sure what happened to it.
Not sure.
But I don't mind these Vikings either, because
Yeah.
the Marauders literally don't care about the liberation circles, so
Yeah.
it's nice to have something that can deal with the Liberators. Otherwise, you kind of be in trouble here. Keeping the Marine count low. That does mean if he gets a good batch of Marauders, he may be able to jump these tanks at some point.
Although he hasn't, while he's jumped on tanks, he's not been very aggressive towards them.
Yeah,
It's like
shoots them last.
yeah, exactly.
Losing the Viking War too,
Yeah.
in terms of the
Now-
air battle.
Now here's where the building positioning becomes an issue. Is if your starport is right here, then that's potentially a problem. And if he lifts it up, then it's immediately into the Viking fire.
Another major concern is like I didn't mind how he traded out, killed some SCVs, and expanded first.
Yeah.
But he expanded and didn't build more SCVs, so he's not taking advantage of that earlier base.
Yeah.
In fact, I think his economy is probably even smaller than DominionDog's here. They're both
Yeah.
actually at a very low worker count. Now I'm looking at it.
Yeah, exactly. But DominionDog going up to 4 bases, and I know that he will populate those if given a chance. And yeah, the starport just being killed is a pretty big setback as well.
Yeah, we are seeing some Marines out of Mike, which is nice. The pure Marauder thing isn't
Yeah.
going to work long term. We got some stim and combat shield. So I do like that there's a follow up. I was kind of assuming Mike would be a one trick pony, but
Yeah. Very often that's the case. If you're going to kind of cheese open, then they don't build a backup. But it not only does, but it very quickly realized when it didn't work and transitioned.
yeah, and as slowly as DominionDog's raising his worker count, at least it's rising. I'm a little concerned that Mike is
Yeah.
never going to have more than a one based economy, which means he's never going to have an army big enough to beat DominionDog, even though DominionDog kind of went for the greedy 4 base.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of barracks for Mike, and Stim is almost done, but there's no. If you transition into maybe trying to group up a bunch of bio and just do a go push once you had Stim, that might make sense. But he's just trickling it off.
Which is actually one of the main weaknesses that DominionDog used to have back in the day. DominionDog used to be great at everything, but if he ever fell behind, he would just start trickling units to their death.
Yeah.
So it is one of those things that's difficult to beat even for a veteran bot like DominionDog. Yeah, at this point it's just kind of free kills. That trickle is
Yeah.
the trickle and lack of economy is kind of gonna write the ending for this match for Mike, unfortunately.
Yeah, we may end up getting that same breadcrumb effect too to lead him onto the offensive, because again, I think DominionDog is not looking to push out or anything, and would rather just accumulate.
It is interesting how Mike has like a huge priority of shooting Marines over anything else.
Yeah,
You would think you'd just shoot at whatever's closest, but there must be some sort of extra logic in there, kind of like a priority of like units
Yeah.
you need to kill or something.
yeah. I wonder if it's like maybe if it's super focused on the early Marauder thing, that it's just when the Marauders get up, ignore, instead of saying like ignore SCVs, attack military units, it may just be kill the Marines. And
Yeah.
then by default, that means ignore everything else. But it turns out that everything else includes like tanks and
Yeah.
and
The
whatever.
things they do double damage
Yeah.
against. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marauders, like, half their damage is versus armored, so it's so important that they shoot armored things.
Yeah. So it looks like we'll go after these barracks now. Maybe not. Still doesn't even know. I thought that Raven earlier had picked up where they were, but I guess not.
I've always wondered how strong concussive shells would be in the hands of a bot. Like, I'm imagining things like you could roll bailings in, and like literally the
Yeah.
Marauders could keep all of them slowed at all times. You just track like which ones have concussive and for how long.
Yeah, it seems like one of those very good things.
Very well-rounded army
Yeah.
out of DominionDog here. It's nice to see he's able to kind of build everything. Good cloak banshee usage, good air attacks, and the tanks move well. He's going to be trouble for everyone else in this gauntlet today.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I mean, it looks like everything's working fine.
Yeah. You can definitely position Liberator circles because he's repositioned
Yeah.
that about 100 times this match. As
Yeah,
the
and
Marine
they've
comes
been-
in from a different path every second.
Yeah, they've been pretty good positioning too. Something attacking a expansion there. I guess that's a Marine, so I think he knows where that stuff is now.
Even attacking
Yeah.
flying structures with the Liberator and landing
Yeah.
Vikings to kill the landed structures. Yeah. That's a
Indeed.
Terran bot that can do it all.
Yep, it is again. Yeah, DominionDog's made it quite far in the past, so I think it may be a case of underranking that ended them up down there, but maybe it'll make for a more dramatic journey
Yeah.
for today.
I like
Who
the
is-
premise out of Mike there. I liked
Yeah.
he had some process around like grouping up his Marauders. He had
Yeah.
some thought process around how to deal with high ground. It's not completely fleshed out, but I could see like a few more tweaks and maybe that becomes a extremely powerful rush.
I think,
And then there's a follow up as well. So
yeah, if
not
he
bad for a new
didn't
bot.
pull back to begin with, I think he would have just won anyway. Because he
Yeah,
pulled
yeah.
back to regroup with like a fourth Marauder, and then it allowed the tank to come out, and then he kind of, he just waited, and I don't think he needed to, because if I'm remembering right, he killed everything up top, and then he just left voluntarily.
Yeah, the scan ran out or something.
Yeah, that's exactly what. Yeah, he lost vision. I think that was it because he was trying to fight at the bottom of the ramp instead of walking up. Once he had vision, he should have used the confidence of vision to get real vision, and then when the scan runs out, you don't lose it. But he was sitting at the bottom tentatively.
I'll cut him slack on that though. As a bot for myself, I know how hard it
I
is to
get
write
it.
logic that works for every sort of scenario. Like what he was doing probably really made sense against something he was losing against on
Yeah,
ladder,
yeah.
and
Maybe.
then just you run into something you don't expect as a coder, and then it looks stupid.
It kind of
But,
reminds me though of when Scarlet was making her 4-gate bot, and it had trouble with the ramp, and I'm like, but if the whole premise of your bot is a 4-gate rush and you can't deal with the ramp, the premise doesn't work. Like
true.
that's the number one problem you need to solve, which I get it's a hard problem, but that's the fundamental, like that's the number one obstacle you have. So it's kind of the same here. If you're doing a Marauder rush, you got to go up the fucking ramp.
I think the way my bot worked when I first instituted ground units was like I would go kill a base and then move on to the next base. And then I would just kind of made like the middle of the main ramp a base,
Yeah.
like per se.
Yeah.
So it would
Yeah.
always work its way straight there, and then move into the main.
Indeed. Right, so we're hopping on to match number 3. Let's go.
Aeolus. DominionDog.
All right, so our Protoss Aeolus down here in the bottom right. Also looked pretty good last season, and it looks like we're going to have pylon up front, potentially wall off, or semi-wall off at least. DominionDog never really aggressive with anything. So I think if you kind of know this is your opponent, you could probably get away with doing a lot of really early expansions and really, really greedy stuff.
Yeah, you could mind game him that way. He does get out an early Reaper, so you don't want to be too crazy. But
Yeah.
He does tend to use the Reaper defensively, so
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe if he scouts Nexus first, he would be more aggressive with the Reaper.
Yeah.
You
True.
never
He
know
does
how
definitely
programmed he is.
yeah. Does definitely respond like we saw in the last game, like him scouting. Not only knew there was definitely something proxy, knew exactly what it was. Like you said, probably based on the gas timing, seeing nothing but gas, then you know what is out there. So yeah, may be able to flip a switch on that. But I think this will be certainly relatively safe and normal. Yeah, Gateway, Cyber, and Nexus as he comes in and verifies that.
Protoss begins scout.
And he'll tell us his conclusions in a little bit, I think. I do like when that's part of, obviously it's good feedback for the author, but it's good for us.
Aeolus is
able to see.
Protoss, right? It's
Yeah.
not random? Okay.
I think so. I think we had random because we didn't know who was what.
I just saw
Or
that
like, yeah.
DominionDog stated Protoss.
Oh,
so
yeah,
when
yeah.
he saw the first structure, I'm like,
Yeah.
did he know it was Protoss? But it looks like on the
Yeah.
ladder, Aeolus is
Yeah.
actually a Protoss spot.
Okay.
Okay, nice little wall off there. So, got the good one gap. That doesn't matter too much against Terran, but if Terran infests some Zerglings, it would be great against that.
Indeed.
What
so
am I looking at here? Is this a invisible
yeah,
battery?
I was going to
Very
ask the
nice.
same thing here. We'll see it as it comes in.
Okay.
And apparently no warp in icon.
Yeah.
That was one of the hardest things to, I guess not too hard, but I think you read it without realizing it. But the height of the warp in things tell you what building it is, and kind of learning to internalize. And I think you do internalize it without really even consciously doing it, but to recognize like that's a pylon versus that's a cannon versus like whatever.
I do not do that.
No.
I face a cannon rush and I attack the cannon with my SCVs, and then I find out 20 seconds later it was a pylon, not a, not a cannon.
Yeah. Fun. Somewhere on Liquipedia, there's like a chart, like a comparison chart
Yeah.
that shows a bunch of them. And
The
it's
warp
the
circle is slightly higher and different color.
and the shadow beneath it like tells you a lot. And yeah, exactly.
I do always look at the Stargates to see what unit they're actually building. You
Yeah.
can see that in the Stargate itself, but that's about as far as I can go. There's not a whole lot they can deal with this Void Ray yet. It's going right for the mineral line. I like that.
Yeah, I think
It's
that's a
going
good
beyond
call.
the mineral. Okay, there it goes.
Yeah, and good decision and no real reaction here. Maybe by coincidence, an engineering bay may be the perfect thing, but it doesn't look like we're going to get a turret or anything started yet. There's one at the front. This will be chased off. I think it could just fight the two Marines and may want to do that.
I mean, it stays alive, which is nice, but
Yeah.
two
But
Marines
yeah,
were
there's-
not the threat to it at all.
Yeah, there's way more offensive potential with this, but 2 workers killed is good, but I feel like this could be like 10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, 2 workers on the mule. The mule is actually a big
Yeah.
effect too, because it was still
Sure.
pretty fresh. So that was like 200 minerals
Oh.
down the drain. That's a dead stalker.
Yeah, that was indeed. Really early on, I did like a video that was like all the visual indicators in the game, like that people didn't notice, like things added to units, or you could see that the bunker's windows are on and stuff like that. There's tons and tons of like graphical things that you would notice that tell you if something's upgraded or whatever. And I don't think the bot, well, bunker's one of them, like the bot doesn't see those things.
Yeah, all the visual stuff we don't know. So
Yeah.
like, Zerglings with wings would mean they have speed. Like as a bot
Doesn't know.
author, you
Yeah.
don't know that.
Yeah.
You would have to kind of like try to figure out how fast the Zergling's moving. Like,
Yeah.
okay, this Zergling seemed to move a further distance than it should have been able to. So I guess we'll just
Yeah.
assume they have speed upgrade now.
Yeah. And yeah, that's a lot of lost potential in the Void Ray that's behind there. But we're going to get Aeolus to move out now. I don't know how this will go. That is a lot of bio. The turret's there. There doesn't feel like enough bulk to go with this, and only one more Void Ray yeah, I think this is going to get ripped to shreds if it engages.
Yeah. And unlike in the first match we saw here, he's not like poking and immediately
Yeah.
running away. This is a poke and
No.
lose everything. So
Yeah.
not what you want to do against the bunker siege tank defense.
Yeah, this is definitely a no-go. I do want to see that other Void Ray like reactivated or something. Because it's just chill. It's one thing to stay alive. It's another to stay alive and then waste the rest of your life. Maybe something will kind of get close enough that it will pull it in.
We do have an earlier third base out of Aeolus. So he has the potential to build a stronger army if he doesn't throw it away all the time. Although
Yeah.
you may not get that opportunity. DominionDog
Yeah.
is moving out, maybe just to secure the third, but also
Yeah.
maybe more. No, just securing the third. Fourth base out of Aeolus.
Yeah, and I mean, you can certainly transition into a more viable air army if Aeolus wants to do so. And yeah, with a better economy, certainly would be able to.
And the one problem is like Marines, like Terran Bio absolutely shreds Protoss. Like,
Yeah.
it shreds everything. You have to have splash damage against it, and that's the one thing bot authors are a little typically lacking on. No sign of any Colossus or Disruptors or Storm coming anytime soon. So if this is going to be Stalker Void Ray versus a giant Bio Ball, it's not going to be good news. Although that Void Ray is all of a sudden
that's
getting
fine.
huge value.
Yeah.
Keep spamming that position. Don't even think of moving forward.
That's up. It looks so close. It looks like they should be able to shoot that.
Yeah, sometimes when I drop a Protoss player, I'll just leave the medevac with like one Widowmine in the back of his base
Yeah.
and just never even move it again. Because, you know, he'll keep like 4 Stalkers holding it. And
just
it's like,
securing it.
you know, you got 8 supply keeping tabs on my 3 supply. I think that's worth it.
Makes sense. Yeah, this is going to be a big difference here. If Aeolus does transition into something, especially if the army just kind of chills there the whole time. Usually the defense, weirdly, against this many Marines as Protoss as a bot is just that the Marines don't respond appropriately to air. They try and fight at max range. They don't fully engage with like stim and getting underneath you. If they do, it rips everything to shreds. But very often, if you get stuff like Tempests and Carriers out, they don't engage properly. So it's more that the Marines waste their potential rather than that you actually handle them well.
Yeah. Like my Marines, I don't want them to get too far away from my tanks. I always feel like their job is to
Yeah.
protect the tanks and the tanks to actually do all the damage. But if you face Tempests, it's like
Yeah.
you're just slowly getting picked to shreds from range.
Exactly.
It's like, at some point, you got to have some logic to jump in there. Okay, we do have a Liberator out, so Void Ray will not even fight back. He actually could have killed that Liberator very easily. But that Void Ray got lots of value. A couple worker kills early on and kept this army back forever because DominionDog's been maxed for a while.
max supply.
And now Aeolus is also maxed, so
Yeah.
that's something. Though Aeolus is maxed on 96 workers and no splash damage, so yeah.
Not the ideal situation. We'll see how this engagement ends up going.
Yeah, I think I know how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
We do have DominionDog spread out in the line, so maybe a good start for Aeolus could be good. Although Aeolus is stuck behind his wall, which isn't gonna be great either.
It's great. At least it puts him near a shield battery. But okay, here comes the engagement. We'll get at least an awkward position for the first engagement if he can kind of section this off. He
Yeah,
can
maybe.
lose a couple of these bases.
There was an opportunity to snipe the tank there too,
Yeah.
because all the bio was distracted by the Nexus.
And
but,
the Void Rays are not participating.
no.
They're having none of this.
Well, based on the Void Ray we saw in the north, I don't
they're-
think they're going to have anything to
They're
do with
even
this match.
Yeah, they're even like backed up from the Liberator that was right in front of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just not doing it.
It might be like a supply-based thing. It's like when they think they have
Yeah.
enough, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they would have won, but they would have helped a lot here.
yeah. Unfortunate. He is overstimmed like by
Yeah.
by a gigantic amount. So he's taking a lot of damage, but it's self-inflicted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe
quite
one
true.
more stim, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
Void
Then
Race
they
will
engage.
engage.
They see everything red and go. Yeah, probably a little late now. Because yeah, there was potential here if Aeolus could kind of hold that and get out of. I think when he had him weirdly sectioned off at the edge there, had the Void Rays engage from the side, maybe you kill enough that then it can't fully proceed, but it's a lot. But with the self-sacrifice of stims, then maybe there's nowhere near enough medevacs to get things back.
yeah, I mean, there's no medevacs, and half the bio was Marauders, so there was a
Yeah.
chance there that the
Yeah.
Void, like all you gotta do is overwhelm the Marines, so then the Void Race can kill everything for free.
Yeah. But it was not to be. So DominionDog will continue this onslaught.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we had a good base of stuff there for Areola, I was about to say. That doesn't sound right. Aeolus.
Yeah.
Just needs to tweak on the mid and late game a little bit, I guess.
Indeed. So yeah, we'll be journeying to match 4. I think we're taking a quick break, and then come back with the matches 4, 5, and 6. See if DominionDog can continue with the journey. Be right back.
And welcome back, everybody, to the wild cards of 2025 Sideloaded of ProBots. Here we are, guys. We're at the other half. We've already seen, two new bots. I guess 2 new bots versus DominionDog. And, well, actually, Apidae's not new, but
Yeah, really
Yeah.
one, Mike.
I guess one.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking so far? Because you know what, Dominion. It might be that DominionDog heard what you guys had said earlier about like hiding in to screw up the other people.
He's being a bit of a bully, I will say that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it is a bit of a bully moment here because he's like he came at the bottom seed and he's just like tearing up through the bottom. So
Yeah, that's it. I think he's just an underranked fighter at this point, and is kind of making his way through. So, and it makes sense if he was off the ladder for a bit and didn't have time to climb. We're seeing the climb happen in real time.
climbs happening in real time, boys. Literally
It's a little
climbing in
sad
real
though, because all these other bots, like
Yeah.
they looked like who would win between those 3 losers? I don't know.
Yeah.
They all look pretty equal in strength. I mean, it's at some point they would have had to run into DominionDog anyways, so
Yeah.
they probably wouldn't have been the ProBots champion. However,
What is it like?
So it
This
made for fun
shark in a
games.
kiddie's pool or something like that? What it is? Where you?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, shark in a kiddie pool.
It's I don't know. There was like a story a while ago, but like Hikaru playing chess at like some local state tournament or something, and he's like 400 points higher than everyone else. It's basically that.
probably at least 400 points.
Oh yeah, I
Probably
think
like
like
800.
yeah, probably close to 8.
All right. Well, let's
Yeah.
take a look at that bracket. Let's see where we stand right now. So DominionDog took out Apidae, then went through Mike, Mr. Tyson, and took out Aeolus. So DominionDog on a tirade. And he's going to go up
Yeah.
against Lunax, possibly Sharkbot, and possibly SharpenedEdge.
We'll
Do you
see.
think now these are known to us, except for Lunards is not known to us, but do
Yeah.
we think? Let's say he does get through Lunar. Do you think the Sharkbot and SharpenedEdge will stop his reign?
I think I don't know what Sharkbot's up to lately. Always something new and creative. So I think those 2 are like contenders to do it. SharpenedEdge pretty solid, can do everything, but it hasn't probably in general. No, I would say maybe wins a third of the time. Sharkbot might be more of a 50-50. It depends what the build is, especially since we only got 1 map. Sharkbot's a varied build sort of thing, so I don't know. But I think we do need to prepare the graphic of like the Grim Reaper knocking on the different doors, just in case he does make it all the way through.
Yeah, I mean, those 2 look like the big 3 to me: SharpenedEdge, Sharkbot, and DominionDog. But you never know, like
Yeah, I don't know this.
Some of these
other
new
one.
bots that come up, like there could be a new Zozo any moment here. Like Zozo looks like an amateur, and then he goes and beats every single top bot and finishes what, second
Lunar
in
could be
ProBots
it.
or something. Did he win ProBots? I don't even remember. He did really well though.
Zozo won last season.
Zozo won, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, he did one
Yeah.
last season. So like Lunar could be it. Like that's why this is a wild card. We actually like there is, since it's best of ones, anything could happen, right?
Yeah.
It could cheese through. It, like,
It will
Yeah.
cheese. Yeah.
I mean, again, and not to, or like in this, in the Mike match, had Mike again not just come down the ramp and waited, Mike won. Like the conditions were there, the game was over, and he retreated. So I mean, yeah, that can happen.
And the best thing about this too, I actually been watching some of the bot authors from who were watching Laughing Games version. They're already thinking about like what they can do better, right? How could they like improve it, right? So they're already talking about when they watched the Laughing Games his qualifiers, they were already talking about like how, oh, okay, I'm already ready to improve on it. So there's gonna be, I'm a big fan of the arms race that comes from ProBots in general, because bot authors definitely put in their best footing. And I think some of these newer bot authors are gonna get a chance to kind of like, they got a taste of it. It's not just the facelessness of the ladder where, you just see the win-loss. For those of you who don't familiar with the ladder, you just kind of get like almost like a spreadsheet level of what happened to you, right? And it's just win-loss. But when you get to physically, and may not watch all the replays. So we get to showcase and we get to put their mistakes front and center and motivate them over the next, couple of weeks. Holidays are coming. Best time to work on your bot. I know I will. It gets addictive. Not gonna lie. There are some times where I put in like several hour days on my bot because it can get addicted. So
You can, yeah.
it can get really addictive. Because you're like, oh, I can do one more thing. I can just fix one more thing, and one more thing turns into like. I ended up building out some intelligence monitor for my bot to use Team Liquid. I don't know if anyone remembers SQ. It was a spending quotient, which was an old formula used for pro players to decide if you're spending efficiently. And I got really obsessed with using it to measure my bots like spending.
Okay.
And it turned into kind of a nightmare because there was a lot of things I didn't anticipate with like, oh, how can you real time your mineral rate and there are a lot of things that kind of like trip me up. But it gets addictive because then you go to one thing and then you try to solve another thing and then whole new things start to pop up. And Ketrock, I presume you can relate. I hope, or I'm just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and like you have thousands of replays on AI Arena, but when you see your bot play on ProBots and it does stupid things, and all of a sudden you're like, it'll show you like a whole bunch of things you never knew, and then it'll point it out in a way that you want to fix it. So there's definitely motivation when you see your bot do poorly or well, and there's motivation obviously before ProBots as well, as you want to, finish up to like whatever feature you're working on in time for ProBots tournament.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
And
it's
so,
interesting that way.
and for all of you, if you're out there and you get inspired with ProBots, you haven't started, if you maybe, and I get this a lot, if you're actually a person who loves StarCraft in general, and you kind of know coding or you want to code a bit, or the very much like you have an idea for something you would love to see done, starting a bot is the perfect thing. And we have actually a template that you can get your stuff. You can get a bot up and running before, if you make yourself a pot of coffee, by the time you're done coffee, you can at least get it moving. So that's how I made I made the template. It's in the description below. You can grab it. We've made it. Hopefully I've made it super simple for you to at least be able to get your assuming you know a little bit about Python.
We need to get sponsored by BootDev.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah. Actually,
I think we're so directly up their alley of what they try and do. So
I have looked at
them. Yeah.
Yeah, so actually, I did look into their affiliate part. We're not there yet. I think, well, maybe maybe I'll reach out to them. We'll see.
I don't know. I've seen relatively small channels with it. And,
oh, really? Then I think I will reach out to them. BootDev. Actually, I'm a big fan of BootDev.
I like it too.
Fan. Big fan. And so those are the people. Some of the people I talk to about ProBots. There are two types of people out there. There are people who are coders and they want a good challenge to help keep their coding up, and this is a great project to do it. And then there are people who play StarCraft 2 and they want to like take that knowledge to something that they like, I know the game, You know, and if only I could just code, I can make this really super sick ass bot. Usually when they discover that to code, it's not as easy as they originally thought, but the aspect of trying it always pushes them forward. So, if you're one of those two camps, grab the template in the bottom below. If you have some coding knowledge, you'll be, if you don't have any coding knowledge, definitely get the basics. Use ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT to help me at least get the very fundamentals to get myself going, and then you can. The AI coding IDEs actually make it really easy to get this stuff going. They actually know a lot about the different frameworks, so you will be in good hands. So grab that in the description below. And all right, cool. I think we're ready. I think I'll let the casters take you guys away.
Indeed. I'm always think it's interesting the people that are like don't play like some of our like bot authors have never played StarCraft. And yet got into it. That always kind of surprises me, but I think that's cool. It is a good challenge for all this stuff.
We definitely attract more coders than we do StarCraft players, so it is interesting. People have come up with like, ooh, upgrades. Let me just get all the upgrades and things like that. And so we make all the same junior mistakes a new StarCraft 2 player would.
Yeah, exactly. It's fun. I could tell there's some that I've seen too that I could tell their method of learning the game part of it has been to play against AIs and copy what they do, or like the in-game AI. Like, so in their early builds, they build stuff and then they build like 2 warp prisms and keep them at home because for some reason the easy AI does that. So you could tell they're kind of just thinking like, oh, that's a thing people do, and then copy it. And
I copied my own gameplay, but as a human, I'm known as being very, very slow, but I use good strategy or something. But my bot is dumb as bricks and has infinite APM, so I almost have to like completely play the opposite of like how I would play as a human. But
exactly.
Looks like game 1 of 1 will be on Persephone here.
And
kind of an open map, so no crazy pathing errors will happen.
That is generally good. LunaxVRR, not sure what that stands for.
I'll give you a hint. It has 3 builds. It has a Tempest Rush, a Greedy Carrier Rush, and the VR stands for Void Ray. So what do you think VRR is? The 3rd build is actually Mass Immortal Rush. It doesn't do Mass Void Ray.
Okay. Fun.
Apparently he did in the past, but he changed up his bot, and now the VRR doesn't make sense anymore.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, that's why you probably shouldn't name your bot after a specific
It's like how all the Twitch streamers have SC at the end of their name. Because they started StarCraft streamers.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm saying my email still has, it's just Endersword SC. And exactly. Fun stuff. I think we're ready to hop in. Here we go.
Let's do it.
DominionDog.
XQC was like that too, but for Overwatch. For like his one of the biggest streamers in the world, his Twitch name was XQC OW. And he couldn't get it changed for a long time because it doesn't allow you to have a 3-letter name on Twitch. I think it is now.
Just for him?
Yeah, I think just for him, because he was like, it doesn't make sense anymore, so they changed it. But yeah, I think he hadn't played Overwatch in like years, and then that was still his name.
That's okay. Gives your name a little bit of history, you know.
Yeah.
People can ask, "What's this for?" And then you get to, back in the olden days.
Yeah. You know this guy that can barely talk or keep track of anything? He used to be a pro gamer. So Forge coming down, interesting.
Yeah, so he just in his description he just calls us a safe Tempest Rush. So a bit of an oxymoron there, but I think I've seen something like this before, and I kind of like it, where like you almost turtle and slowly build up Tempest, and then start expanding from there. And Tempest behind the safety of cannons and stuff is really hard to break, and if you try to break it, you lose a lot. And if you keep going and going until you have like 20, 30 Tempest, then almost nothing can beat that, at least in the bot meta. So I'm not sure if that's what we'll end up seeing here, but with the Forge first, maybe that will be the case.
See what he goes. I'm curious what DominionDog will conclude this is. After seeing double gas Forge.
It's Protoss. He's correct.
Yeah,
that's a good call.
true. Yeah, good call there. Reaper will move out. Protoss early infantry, I guess. It definitely doesn't look like that to me.
Technically, there's a gateway. It's not spinning.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think you get to tell if your opponent's
Building.
structure is active or
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
Yeah. There is like an is active tag, but I think it only works for your own structures. So you can see if you're upgrading your own things, but you can't see if the opponent's upgrading anything.
Yeah.
Which is too bad because that's like a lot really important if you see like a tech lab spinning or a cybercore spinning.
Yeah, I mean, some buildings you can literally see what's being warped in.
Yeah.
And that would definitely help.
So if a bot author wants to be really tricky, he could like chrono boost something that he's not actually using, and the bot can see the chrono boost, but he can't see that the structure's not active.
Nice. Makes sense. Yeah, and is he going to try and do this off of one base? I guess so. Yeah, for whatever reason, that's not showing up.
Yeah, there's probably just some missing assets. I didn't notice some things are missing on these new maps. I'm actually off all December, which is great, so maybe I'll get caught up on the what's going on in the bot scene, including the maps.
Fun.
Yeah, so I think this is going to be what I expected. So he's using the cannons in the one base to keep himself safe as he rushes straight to Tempest, so then he's just going to slowly expand from there.
All right, that will be interesting to see how DominionDog deals with it. We were talking about like Marines doing pretty well, obviously, against Protoss Air, really anything without splash. But we'll see how he actually fights in that case.
Yeah.
Whether he tries to stay at max range, whether he does actually jump on these things and takes advantage.
Yeah, and this is Air with, twice the range of a Marine.
Yeah.
The Marines have to deal with the terrain, and then of course these Tempests can like fall back to where the cannons and batteries are, so it is kind of that nightmare scenario for Marines of like, yes, a human could kill off the Tempest very easily, but you try to code that with a bot, and it's so easy to make a mistake where you lose all your Marines.
Indeed. So, Tempest first out. We're waiting on the second here.
Yeah. I do like how he's continuing to make probes too, so as soon as that Nexus finishes, he will have a lot he can Maynard over there.
Yeah, you definitely want to have the economy to really keep it going nonstop. I think he could have cut. I mean, I get the idea of, cannons at the front to try and protect there. The cannon in the middle line, not sure. I guess, I don't know, if you're going to get hit by a Banshee or something. Yeah. I think he could have maybe cut some of that to try and get the Tempest smoother quicker, but I don't know when he's going to attack. But
but if he was facing a Marauder rush, like we know this is DominionDog. If you want to make a build that kind of works versus everything, and you want to go straight to Tempest, you gotta do something to kind of keep yourself alive. And while this does put him really far behind economically, as long as you can get that gigantic ball of Tempest, it won't really matter. It'll get to a point where it won't matter that you're behind economically.
Yeah, I just always want to, if you're waiting, like I often think rushing to something low economy is often best when you want to go with like 4 or like a low number. If you're trying to get to him, it's okay. Maybe he's moving with like 3. So maybe this kind of works. But it's if you're looking to get to like a mass of them, you're usually better off powering the economy than switching with the higher economy to support. But yeah, we'll see what the 3 do here.
Yeah, I like this attack angle for Lunax because he's going to be picking away these structures near the edge of the base. So then, even if he just backs up straight, he's going to end up making this terrain to be a massive problem for the Marines.
All right, couple Marines here early. Will be good.
Oh, and he does have the structure, like, was that an extra
Yeah.
100% damage to versus structures? 70%? Something like that. It's a crazy amount of
Yeah, it's
damage,
a lot.
actually.
Yeah.
I'm very upset about that. They did that so Tempest could clear spore crawlers back in the day of spore farms.
Yeah.
But all it did was make it so planetaries could get one shot in TVP.
Yeah.
So he basically killed mech forever. That factory is going down. I do like this counterattack with all the units
Yeah.
that can't shoot up. I love that idea. And he's actually probably going to get the natural out of this. The cannons might hold for a little while, but see if the Tempest fall back or what's going to happen. Yeah, Tempests are going to head back home to help deal with this.
Yeah, and I don't know if they'll be in time, although he's picking out the workers first, which maybe makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's not the end of the world. If the Nexus
No.
survives, he'll have 3
Yeah.
Nexus he can rebuild probes from. And he does get to kill all the Marauders and Siege tanks while this is happening.
This is hurting. More probes coming down. And yeah, if he finishes it off, this is pretty bad, but it may live. Yep.
Yeah, so maybe those more probes coming down save the Nexus. You never know.
Yeah, they probably bought enough time. That was pretty close.
But like, it's not devastating to lose 20 probes when you can build
Yeah.
3 at a time. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like if you lost 20 like 3 minutes ago. There is a lot of units to shoot up now. It's like Mass Marine
Yeah.
and
Cyclone.
yeah, like he's literally only building units to shoot up. So no more Marauders or Siege tanks on the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it was
interesting
definitely
call.
a good decision with that stuff of like, this is useless. Let's go sack it for a lot of value, really.
So yeah, I kind of like this for DominionDog
Yeah,
because he's got the much bigger economy. He's got that greedy 4-base thing, and then he's literally only building anti-air, which, as much as I love Tempests, a gigantic economy with only anti-air is pretty damn good against Tempests.
yeah,
So you can get in fights where, like, you know, where it goes terribly for you, but as long as you pick off 2 or 3 Tempests, it's okay because you got the bigger economy.
all right. And here comes that bile ball moving south here now. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Vikings with this too. But we've got 8 Tempests out. I mean, 8 Tempest, 8 Vikings, definitely good. But with the backup of all the rest of this on the ground.
Yeah,
If
this
he
could be
ca-
trouble.
if
Because
he
even
gets
if the
some
Tempests
yeah.
win this, you can't really afford to lose a base at this point.
Yeah. Like the cliff positioning helps here. If you can pull the Vikings like this, but if the cannons too, then that's certainly good. And then fight them in pieces. But like that base was erased.
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting these Tempests to win. I was
Yeah.
more concerned about if he lost all of his economy while doing it,
Yeah,
and it looks
yeah.
like that's going to be the case.
Yeah.
I mean, so this is probably going to be it in terms of the Tempest count. And again, though, it is scary. That is a lot of Tempests.
Yeah,
and
they're
they
not-
will not die
Yeah.
very easily.
Yeah, they're not gonna die, but they're also not defending this. Like he's
No,
just
yeah,
gonna
the
lose
damage is very
everything.
slow.
So yeah,
I do like the committal.
yeah. Because yeah, there's no workers left.
There is money for another probe. So he's not... He hasn't been eliminated, per se.
No, I mean there's some theoretical window for just a counterattack right now that goes after the production and you know is just enough that he can't accumulate, but it's that window closes very very fast, and he's not gonna move out anyway. He's just gonna sit here, but unfortunately there's no reinforcements coming.
Actually, he can't rebuild because
Yeah.
he's supply blocked.
Oh yes, yeah. Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he's just stuck there. Yeah. So yeah, he had enough minerals for 1 probe, but cannot build it until at least what would be 2 of these Tempests die, I guess.
I mean, he does have the buffer of these structures, so even though he's 100% dead, I still think these Tempests are going to kill like 5
Yeah,
or 6
a
units
lot.
each before they die.
Yeah.
They're still going to trade like ridiculously well, even without the cannons alive anymore. Like all that to kill 1 Tempest.
Yeah.
And barely killed 1 Tempest.
Yeah, I mean, I think he may lose the game with the Tempest still alive. Just
Yeah,
losing
actually,
his abilities
that's
on the
very
ground.
much true.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even though the Marauder tank thing didn't work out amazing, I do really like that because the other option was to keep the Marauders and tanks at home with the rest of the army, and they probably serve no value for the rest
Yeah,
of the
they're
game except taking up
useless.
supply.
Yeah.
And what
Yeah,
they
no,
did
I
do is
think
they
that was
wiped out a
really
base of economy and probably kept like 2 or 3 Tempests extra from coming out on the field.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that was a really smart decision to even recognize that, of like, hey, these are not, and make that split in your army. It's something you don't see really any bots doing.
The other thing with like CL Linux is like he says he was going safe mass Tempest, and he was safe for a little while, but then he kind of, other than those first 3 cannons, he didn't make more.
Yeah.
Like if he made a couple batteries and a shield battery, a
I
couple
think that-
cannons
yeah.
and a shield battery at each base.
Yeah, battery definitely would have helped. Yeah, so there we go. And I think he just kind of tapped out instead of losing the buildings. But yeah, so DominionDog continues on the killing path, but now we get into some of the more familiar bots. We're going to have Sharkbot up next. And yeah, see what he does, because that's always a wild card for builds, especially on a new patch. I could see him definitely gravitating towards like, yeah, I want to use the energy recharge just because it's new, and working that into his stuff. So,
And I have such like trauma with Tempest that there's like for a split second in that game, like it's 7 based on 0, but he has mass Tempest, so
yeah.
even it could go either way.
It's possible. I mean, I
I
think
think that's
I
where
think,
my brain immediately went to.
yeah, I think
so
there's
scared of
some
Tempest.
chance, to be honest. Like when he had 13 there or something at the end, and he held it. I think had he just moved across, there's some chance if you went right to where the production is, and because he could have killed, like those would kill the army that existed at the moment. It would be can you get on top of everything and actually wipe everything out in such a way that it can't rebuild, and that's possible, but we'll never know.
Yeah. Maybe attacking the natural would be better
Yeah.
for him in the future, because then he can kind of kite backwards back home. Won't be able to get counterattacked as easily.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like appreciate the build though. I feel like it has a lot of potential. Maybe get a little greedier at the opener and see if that works a little better.
That's kind of what I was thinking, to like power the economy first and then kind of get the double Tempest production online like a lot quicker, because I think he was going up to it, like he was making that first attack as he got the second Stargate, and it's kind of like, well, if you're doing that, then wait and go with like 7 or something instead of the 3. I don't know. But yeah, there's a few ways you could definitely refine it, and opponent probably matters. But we'll be going on torches here next. And yeah, again, Sharkbot's a bit of a wild card.
It's Sharkbot this time. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see if we get to see that energy overcharge or not.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping he would do. And it's the type of author that I think would see a new thing and immediately make a build for that thing.
Yeah.
So
He was always known as like the only Protoss bot that did everything.
yeah,
Like he would be feedbacking medevacs and you know, picking up disruptors with spore prisms. Like it wasn't just like a stalker zealot bot.
very true. So let's hop on in and find out.
Sharkbot. DominionDog.
Okay, so vertical spawns again. It's always an interesting map like that. Less likely to like miss each other as you're going through the map. On a map like this, it's more likely to have more straight-on collision of heights. But
Quite true. Quite true. I always find these vertical spawn ones end up looking like a Rorschach test sideways. They have that feel to them.
wondering if Sharkbot's going to go more on the cheesy side or the macro side. I always got dominated by Sharkbot in the macro games. So I always thought, like, why doesn't he go macro? And then when we see him in ProBots, it's just cheese, cheese, cheese.
Yeah, I think he just likes the cheese more. Like it's Sharkbot is much more of a showman than he is trying to genuinely win all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's trying to balance the entertainment with the whatever. And I think too, you get a sense from the author or authors that yeah, like it's the variety that they like coding for, as opposed to just absolutely optimizing everything.
Mm-hmm.
Tier was always a bit like that too. That like it's got like 150 builds or something.
Yeah. But and then when it comes to ProBots, he would choose none of those builds and make a new one.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that new build would always it would always end the game. It would either end the game because it worked or it'd end the game because it broke.
Yeah.
Because he would never practice it. He didn't want to give away the secret.
Yeah.
Both bots with a similar expansion timing, so no one with a clear economic edge as of yet.
All right, Twilight. Twilight at the front wall.
A little interesting note on this map, the whole area between the two main bases is actually, you can't reach there by land, but there is these destructible Zerg globs that slowly decay over time, and they will eventually open up the area of the map. Unless you spread creep there, but that's less likely in a TVP. So
Yeah, I remember when these were added and then people's reaction was one, why? but yeah, they're kind of neat. Like, yeah, self-destructing destructibles. But yeah, kind of a new weird thing.
well, one of the biggest pet peeves about destructible rocks is how long it took to kill them.
Yeah.
It's this is a fast-paced game. I can't afford to have my army out on the map killing rocks somewhere. I need them. I need my army in position all the time. So
Yeah.
just have the rocks kill themselves, and the problem solved.
Indeed. Yeah, I mean it makes some sense. Like you could do a fair bit with it of paths that were this is a good early. If this was open early, it would be too good for a rush, but opening it later would be interesting. Like that sort of thing, which I guess is the idea here. I don't know if it gives you too much. Here, it's more about access to these bases.
Yeah.
But rather than an attack route, but I think an attack route that opens would be kind of interesting.
Yeah. And obviously the second way in there is you can drill through these small mineral patches and just outside your own natural, and you can dig your own way to your third base.
Yeah.
Probably not something bots are coded towards doing, although
No.
those small mineral patches are a different unit type. So
Oh yeah. Okay.
we do know that it's not a real expansion, but it's actually just a mineral wall. Whether you code anything to do with that or not is different. Yeah.
I've seen things confused by it. There's the one that from last season has the double, the path through the middle that are kind of guarded on both sides by mineable patches.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I forget what that one's called, but yeah, but that sort of thing, and then you can just open up the direct path instead of going around. And I've seen long distance mining get confused by that.
Okay, just a sparse amount of units. You're going straight into the Templar Archives pretty early in the game. 5-minute mark. I like that. And you know why I like that? Because it's a sign he might be using energy overcharge.
Yeah, damn right. Damn right.
So pretty greedy third out of Sharkbot here. We do know we'll probably be seeing a greedy third and fourth out of DominionDog. That's kind of his style to take those next two expansions around the same point in time. Getting up to a good barracks count too. That's his fourth barracks with add-ons coming up.
And Again, invisible buildings warping in.
Mhm.
Templar archives in a pretty aggressive location.
Yeah, that may not survive the entire game.
Yeah. Might be
Although,
fun.
if you're losing this forward base, you might be dead anyways.
Yeah,
There's not many scenarios where you lose that base and not or have not lost the game.
yeah.
I always appreciate Zerg players who make their natural base the one they upgrade to a hive.
Yeah.
Because if you lose a natural base,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
going to lose a game anyway. So why not,
Yeah.
add more hit points on it?
Yeah. Makes sense. Hallucination coming in now. There's a warp prism being built there too. I'd be neat to see some very charged Templar drops.
This is the bot that would do it.
Yep. Okay, we'll
Picking
get
up
the stalkers
stalkers. We have seen crazy stalker micro with Sharkbot before. We saw him dancing like stalkers with multiple war prisms against Aeolus once, and just like killing everything without dying. Unfortunately, he had already lost the game at that point because it was against Aeolus, but still looked cool nonetheless.
Drop in here now. It's kind of a good angle. Like this land acts as dead space for
Uh-oh.
the moment. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay. It's trapped now. Bye.
Okay, made it make me look bad, Sharkbot.
Yeah. Yeah. It had potential there for a sec. It looked like DominionDog was moving out because he was moving to the third base. Had
Yeah.
that come in 10 seconds later, it would have been better.
I don't think he realized he couldn't drop where he was standing,
Yeah.
where he wasn't standing over proper terrain. And I also don't
Yeah.
think he realized he was getting cornered into the edge of the map.
Yes, definitely did not realize that last part.
Big push coming through here. I haven't seen, was Storm upgraded already?
Yes, it was.
And we do have a
right away, and
Colossus on
he
the way.
chroned it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, big storms.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
that's devastating storms.
Yeah, it looks like the old Storm too. And we may
Yeah.
have missed that in the new patch.
So I mean it did well, but they kind of did cancel out both armies. But it could have easily gone without those storms. It would have just been a wash the other way.
Yeah.
So it saves himself there, and he's getting Colossus on top of this. So we'll be well prepared for the next round of things. But that was about staying alive.
Yeah, and he
those-
stayed
those
alive
sto-
in like
those
the
storms
most
stayed alive. Yeah.
crazy way ever too. He stayed alive there. He just murdered that army. We talked about that in previous TVPs with DominionDog about how you need splash damage versus bio.
Yeah.
And that's how you see how bio looks like it's unbeatable to the exact opposite. I love the Warp Prism play he was using with the Templars there too.
Yeah.
I guess with bots it's basically impossible to EMP
Yeah.
a Templar. They're literally out of the Warp Prism for one game frame before they're popped back in.
Yeah. It's the way to be. So yeah, here we get some of this. I don't know if this is intentional or what he's doing there, but it's happening.
Yeah. Usually if you're fully saturated you do distance mine,
Yeah.
so why
Yeah,
not
you
distance
might as
mine the
well.
gold?
All right, good storm here again. He doesn't seem super aware that he's like being stormed or worried about it. Colossus in an oddly good position. I don't know if he's intending to be there, but that's where he is. And another storm to clean most of the rest of it up.
Yeah, Siege Tank's still kind of far back there and getting off lots
Mm-hmm.
of free shots, which is nice. Storms aren't as effective just because there's not that much for them to shoot
Yeah.
anymore. But we got some Colossus drops going on, which is interesting.
Yeah, I think Sharkbot could do well to like just expand the gateway units a bit here. Because he's keeping the valuable stuff alive, but then there's just kind of nothing to really clean up or push.
That's okay. Remember back in the
Yeah.
day when it, like Protoss would only make Phoenix and Colossus and nothing
Yeah.
else?
Yeah. It's the way to be.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably made a lot of his gateway units, I think, but that's the one thing he's just losing.
Yeah,
a lot
he's
of.
losing
That's the one thing
those.
that
Yeah.
DominionDog's doing a very good job of killing.
Yeah.
One Colossus is about to fall, actually.
Yeah.
You're deep in the red there. Although it is starting to shield regen, so I guess hasn't been shot in a while.
Yeah, he'll clean it up eventually here, but yeah, it's just costing more than it needs to.
So DominionDog's doing that trickle of units I was talking about, but the trickle's kind of working.
Yeah,
the trickle's
yeah.
never gotten to the point where it looks
Well,
like he's just getting destroyed.
He's trickling over top of a tank that has not been moved. So
Yeah.
that's the key. Like, this tank has been putting in work. And
Interesting
the,
fight, man.
Yeah, the
The
Colossus
forward
don't wanna
gateway
come.
went down, which is actually a big deal because
Yeah.
that was soaking up a lot of the tank shots.
Yeah.
Now the tank won't be,
Okay.
wasting its shots on the gateway. Anytime something steps in range, he'll be able to shoot it. Although the tank is dead, so I digress.
Yeah, he did pull back with the rest of it there. Yeah, Sharkbot, despite keeping kind of the expensive stuff, again, not a big army.
But he does have 5 bases to 4.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of good tech. So these are the two things that we saw lacking in the previous TVPs. Is that the economy never really got great for them, and then it was all gateway units. And now we're seeing the opposite: huge economy, all tech units. Probably not even enough gateway units. It was the opposite
So we're
problem.
gonna get a couple Colossus drop.
We've seen what happened when more prisons go over
Yeah.
here, though.
Yeah.
There is Vikings out too, which obviously there's no defense to with this.
Yeah. Neither of these things are going to be great. So yeah, that was a bit of a sacrifice. That felt a bit memey. There's no way that was going to get damage done commensurate to the risk you were taking. Another huge storm.
Wow. Yeah, those storms
Yeah.
are.
Just massive. Yeah,
He
but
needs
now
that
the
now
question,
for
does
Sharkbot.
he have enough though without the 2 Colossus this time? The cannons kind of help here, as does the shield batteries, but yeah, not having the 2 Colossus here is a decision.
There's a prism disruptor now.
Mm-hmm.
He actually trapped the disruptor, so this is the one time it's
Okay.
great that he used the prisms like to pick him up.
He's just insisting on dropping this this area. Like, no matter what, this area is going to be dropped. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Couple marine
alright,
kills.
that's a thing. That's a thing that happened. Okay. Liberator deployed to kill Oracle.
I'm actually shocked that
Yeah.
the Swede prisms aren't able to outrun the Vikings
Yeah.
quickly enough. Couple more bases out of DominionDog, including a gold base here. Disruptor does go down. We starting to get like a wall of cannons moving forward. I think is what I'm seeing on the mini map out of Sharkbot. Maybe not. Maybe it's just all units. No, those are cannons.
Yeah.
So he likes
Yeah,
to do this with Sky Toss, just kind of slowly like cannon push towards the enemy base, so then you have all this fallback cannon area with Tempest.
Giant storms yet again. That's the only thing that's been saving them the whole game.
Yeah.
Like this, they're just overwhelming armies that are shredded by that storm.
That's always CVP, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Protoss is always like the worst army in every single way until you think of the splash damage, and then it's like that makes all the difference.
Yeah. He's pushing through here though. Again, cannons and batteries helped, but if you can kind of establish this spot, then this is a big poke through point. But it's certainly not the crux of his economy at the moment. It's mostly mined out.
Oh, he picked up his disruptor before the ball hit, and then he lost it.
Okay,
Prism.
Mothership. Clearly the next... Sharkbot just has a checklist of units, and then that's what he's making.
Mothership got buffed actually. I think it's it's kind of the big mama again, not the cheap mama.
Yeah. Is that active in this version?
Yeah, I believe so. I think it was
yeah.
buffed, and they made it really expensive again. At one point, they made it cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what version we're on. That's a good point.
Yeah, I don't know if that's...
I don't play
yeah,
StarCraft enough to remember the patches.
I knew there
and
were
now
two.
I'm behind. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, a little shocking Sharkbot wasn't able to pull together an army here. With all the spaces, I thought he would have in production.
I think it was those drops. Like, if he didn't
Yeah.
toss away the 2 Colossus, that's an easy hold.
Yeah.
Then he threw away like another disruptor. Yeah.
Yeah, the prisms aren't cheap either. I mean, that was
Yeah,
always a prism
exactly.
sometimes.
And it takes time. like each prism you build, that's another unit that you're not building. So yeah, DominionDog doing it, but it felt again like Sharkbot was being a little memey, and maybe through that with some of the cute things he wanted to do, but DominionDog just kind of sticking with the plan and yeah, doing a good job.
But that's like a classic Sharkbot game, right? You have all like the really technical stuff to make you able to win, and then you have the continuing to do too much technical stuff to make you able to lose. So
yeah, there almost needs to be something in him that's like, are we past 10 minutes and cute subroutines? Like we're going into main game and we're not throwing away side stuff. But also DominionDog did a good job, like not only repelling but killing every one of those things. So we lost all the stalkers, all the Colossus, the disruptor. Like he not only repelled them but shut them down completely and killed everything. So good job.
Or kind of base what's out in the game already, like rather than time.
Yeah.
I used to have this mass widow mine strategy. Like but as soon as I start seeing detectors, I kind of peel off of that and go different. So you can kind of do the same thing. Like once Vikings are out, don't go crazy.
Stop trying to do this. Yeah, it would make sense. So we're going to end up with the final match being DominionDog versus SharpenedEdge. SharpenedEdge, yet another Protoss that is pretty good at making use of basically everything. So definitely a good matchup there. Probably a little bit more conventional in what it does, but definitely high performing capabilities. But I think if I had to put money on it, I think DominionDog ends up running the whole table here and closes this one out.
Yeah, I mean SharpenedEdge, I genuinely do not understand what's happening with that bot. It has not been updated in 2 years, and I swear it's like getting better and better. Like there's bots that used to be clearly better than SharpenedEdge. SharpenedEdge gets 0 updates, and now that SharpenedEdge is better than those bots. It's like, why? What's happening? But he got this high rank for a reason. So we'll see how it happens.
Indeed, they should just use SharpenedEdge to test all patches. If SharpenedEdge got better, then your Protoss buffs worked, and if it gets worse, it doesn't. So I think we are hopping into our last match, and we'll find out who is going on to the round of 8.
Yeah, let's do it. Final one.
Go.
SharpenedEdge. DominionDog.
Yeah, so SharpenedEdge does have a lot of builds. Don't know which one he'll pull out. Obviously one of the original bots that was a menace with Tempest, but he also has cheese builds, he has cannon rush, he has macro builds, and pretty good stalker control just in general.
Yeah.
Nothing fundamentally like dumb about the bot. He's not going to be like just like funneling units into their death or anything like that, but also might be too high on the gateway units like we've seen in the past. So
yeah,
we need to have Sharkbot play and have SharpenedEdge take over like halfway through the game.
I think that's exactly it. It's like, okay, we're done with your phase. Let's do this.
It's like you got all you need to win. You got all the units you want. Now let's let's just go back to like standard gameplay.
Yeah,
keep it simple.
That would be good. I think we need multiple personality bot.
That's a second gateway. So
yeah,
maybe it's a 4-gate. Is this what we have in store?
Possible. There's definitely a lot of gateway timing attacks in SharpenedEdge, so could easily be.
Feels like something that DominionDog's probably seen a few times in his career. A lot of bots did the 4-gate bot, especially after Scarlet made her very successful one. Double gas, Protoss, early infantry. Yeah, okay, that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. Although I get the feeling if the DominionDog doesn't know, it just says early infantry.
There is a gateway, therefore early infantry.
Yeah.
What is that? That's a robo. Okay.
Yeah.
3-gate robo. It definitely seems one base though.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about this for SharpenedEdge. DominionDog loves his bunkers, his siege tanks, and his marauders, and it's what I suspect is going to be a Stalker Immortal ball here. This is going to be pretty good for DominionDog, I think.
Yeah, I think some of this stuff again because it's just a little bit outdated, like several years outdated, really. Because that used to definitely be much more the thing. Is just small gateway immortal push.
Yeah, I mean, stalkers are one of those things that are, if you got like decent micro on them, they're pretty powerful. So, bot authors really preferred to make the stalker over anything else just because of their ability to kind of kite and fan out. But that also means you're going to be really vulnerable against a lot of things because stalkers are jack of all trades, master of none, we'll say.
Very true. Very true. Yeah, stalkers effectively never the best in any situation, but yeah, never the worst either. Yeah, it's always just kind of viable.
Yeah, I mean they shoot up, they do bonus to armor, they're really mobile. You know, they're fast, plus you can get blink. They really do everything, but they're not specialized really at anything at all. They got good range as well. Yeah, but it's like every other game we've seen on DominionDog, the way I'm picturing it is just like the perfect defense against a 4-gate. He literally hunkers down on 2 bases with marauders and tanks.
Yeah, with pretty good buyout. Yeah, exactly.
So SharpenedEdge might be able to attack early enough. Maybe if you go and there's just 1 tank and you got maybe 3 immortals, if that's possible.
Yeah,
I don't know.
There's a lot of things too. I feel, people try and emulate kind of known timing attack sort of things that work for humans. One of the issues bots have is the initial like 0.5 seconds of an attack. A human is good at prioritizing and just going. Bots tend to be slower and trickle in and not focus exactly well. And it's often that literally initial volley of things that can decide a close fight.
Just the wiggling of these stalkers makes me feel like they don't want to get too far away from the
they know
immortals, which is nice. So they're staying slightly clumped.
Yeah.
Okay, I hope he fully commits. It might be a death, but I don't think pulling back has any chance of winning. So just go for it.
Yeah, you gotta
get the immortals shooting the bunker. Let the stalkers kite everything else. Oh, there's even repair on the bunker. This is oh my god, this is so bad.
Yeah.
I think that was really well done by SharpenedEdge. It's just he just got slaughtered by the build order choice.
Yeah, exactly. It was a good engagement. Like everything was lined up, everything fired at once. So it wasn't the type of error I was just talking about. Yeah. But yeah, it's just overwhelmed.
I like they committed. He even kept the 2 immortals alive at the end. So maybe there's a follow up. But yeah. And DominionDog doesn't take a third, right? Like he loves a hunker on these 2 bases and then immediately go to 4.
Yeah.
Which I guess we're kind of seeing why now. He's like, oh, this is when the timing attacks hit. Let me just stay really defensive. And then when I know I'm against a late game bot, then I'll get super greedy. Okay, so is that 4 immortals he has? You never know.
Yeah.
1 last chance.
Yeah, you can always catch some things, but immortals are immortals. So if you get enough of those, then those that can definitely be good.
Wait, where are the others?
Yeah, they're there. Yeah, they'd stayed alive from the first, but now this time they are doing the thing.
Separated.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think there's too much there anyway.
Yeah. At this point, the bio count was even becoming a big problem.
Yeah.
Not to mention the second tank.
Yep. So now ball definitely in DominionDog's court. SharpenedEdge still just on the 1 base as well. So that was kind of the last hurrah here. It'll now be when DominionDog realizes that and goes and drops the hammer.
SharpenedEdge might transition and expand, but honestly, as dead as he is on one base, I think he's even more dead if he expands.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
he's just so far behind at this point.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe just do one more push. It's probably not going to work, but maybe you catch him on siege when he's going to the third base or something. You never know. You might get lucky somehow. Although I think SharpenedEdge is planning for the expansion. I see a Twilight on the way. I see him
feels like
defending his natural location, but not affording the Nexus yet.
Yeah.
And I think DominionDog is rightfully going to put him out of his misery. Running the gauntlet. Who would have thought?
Indeed. I mean, I suppose I did at the start.
Yeah.
But
Who would have thought in general that a
Yeah,
gauntlet, if it weren't stacked with a strong bot at the bottom?
yeah.
Okay, a little immortal flank. Catch the tanks on the
I
run.
could get these. At least make it interesting.
Both tanks dead without them firing a single shot. Probe immortal flank.
Indeed, but yeah, bio here will be enough. Keeping these alive at least for a while.
Yeah. Making a little bit of a show.
Yeah.
Well done.
And there we have it. So yeah, DominionDog will advance. So the way, again, this works, DominionDog advances into the round of 8. On Laughing Games channel, he is doing the other side of this bracket. So Wildcard slot number 2. The winner of that is going to go into the other side of the bracket. And then, of course, they're meeting up there with other bots that are already pre-qualified based on their seeding into it. So check out his channel there as well for the other half of this, and then we'll be back with that round of 8 and further.
Yeah, definitely check it out. Like, I mean, this gauntlet style is usually really competitive,
Yeah.
but just
Yeah.
a little
This-
unfortunate timing on when DominionDog joined the ladder there, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other one looks interesting. So I think you'll see some bots that you don't usually get to see, which
No
is always
splash
good to
damage,
see,
which
which
makes
is
no
always
splash
good to see,
damage,
which is always good
That's
to
a
see.
dough.
which is always good
That's
to
a
see,
dough.
which is always good
That's
to
a
see,
dough.
which is always
That's
good
a
to
dough.
see.
That's a dough. That's a dough. That's a dough. That's a dough.
Boo, Java. I mean, well, I mean, we had the run. Man, right from the bottom to the top, and now we're here. DominionDog.
It's the first time I've ever heard you reference rap.
I knew you were gonna make a point of it.
You usually have no idea what I'm talking about.
And you know what? I actually don't know how the rest of that song goes, but you know, when it came out, it was catchy, and
Yeah.
I only know that like line, and then that's the rest of it. But yeah, DominionDog making the full gauntlet, which if any of you guys are watching on or have watched the Laughing Game side, we've only at this point in time we've seen only Bot-Tato go up two but on his part, and then he lost. So then, you know, there's already a next switch. But on our side, we've, you know, our all the way from the bottom to the top. So it's going to be interesting to see who will join DominionDog in the main event.
Yeah. I think Lunix could have had him too. Now I'm thinking back.
Yeah.
Like this defensive Marauder tank opener versus a mass Tempest opener. If DominionDog weren't so smart on how he like sent everything across in a counterattack.
Yeah,
And Mike,
that
too.
was this exact moment. Or, no,
and then Sharkbot
before
just was
this,
just
yeah.
doing straight up better than through.
And Mike could have done it too.
Yeah, Mikey's also through. Yeah. Had
Yeah.
the win with the Marauders and then backed up. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of windows there. So I hope those authors in particular maybe go in and smooth out some of those little details.
And obviously the
Because,
best of one format has that level, because like some bots will like a SharpenedEdge would have probably have adjusted the next game.
Yeah.
Like, you know, SharpenedEdge is for sure like
Yeah,
one of those.
you definitely get a different build. Yeah.
Yeah, SharpenedEdge would have done something completely different the next game. So you get the kind of help, you know, a bot that tests the waters and then changes upon whatever it learns. You know, but DominionDog solid. What do you guys think made DominionDog so solid for the first? Like, I just obviously gave the example where a SharpenedEdge might switch and may win the next time, but like, what made DominionDog so dominant in just, their first bout going against this bot?
I mean, I think just the build being like defensive and solid for the first little bit, then followed by getting the economy online and going. It's just a very meat and potatoes sort of thing. There's nothing gimmicky in there. There's nothing like too exotic, but then it builds everything it needs. One of the biggest things too is the scouting, which we mentioned a few times. It like Proxy Marauder, it called exactly what that was and then responded to it. So like it's making the right decisions. When it sees something, it will instantly, okay, I'm making 6 Vikings. Like it's just making the right decisions at the right times, and it's not getting too fancy, but it just, this will work. I'm going to do this and do it well. And then that's it.
And it's actually some Catrock you had mentioned too, because even you were like, how did they know it was Proxy Marauder, right? Was it the gas or whatnot? So I am wondering I'm actually curious to know how it knows, as someone who's actually right now working on like being able to identify what the other bot is doing. Is it just like,
well, you can see how much gas is mined, which I think is probably the biggest giveaway. Now, if it wasn't just that it was one gas, but probably not much gas was mined.
Really?
So,
like the amount of gas alone, like, how could we,
like when you're facing, if you look at the mineral patch, you can see how many minerals are in it. If you look at a gas geyser, you can see how much gas is in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And I think the API can even see the gas geyser behind the assimilator or whatever.
The opponent's gas guys, or you can see how much
any gas guys are neutral.
Really?
one you have, one they have.
Yeah, just the resource. It's same as a mineral patch. If you click on the mineral patch,
mineral patch, I knew. I didn't know gas guys.
Yeah, gas gives you content.
So proxy reapers, for instance, you also start with 1 gas. You don't take the second one for a while later because you got to afford the barracks. But that first gas geyser, you do mine a lot of gas out of it early. With Proxy Marauder, you don't have to mine much gas at all. You just need 25 for their tech lab, and then or 25 for their Marauder, so you can start that gas really late. Which you did do. I think you went depot, barracks, and then gas. Yeah. I think this was his build.
Do you have a build detector, Catrock? Do you like?
I don't even scout. Like I said, my bot is mimicked off myself. I don't scout myself. It's like, if you just plan for everything, then you get to have extra economy at home because you don't have an SUV running around.
Well, that goes my next question, but I'll put it out there for the audience. For any of you guys who are also bot makers, I'm like, how are you calculating, or I'm actually trying to solve this myself, is how do you determine what your opponent's doing, right?
Yeah. Honestly, a very simple way you could do it is just send an SCV to keep an eye on, send a worker to keep an eye on their expansion. Exactly. Yeah. And if they have an expansion, then continue macroing. If they don't have an expansion, then make units.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Because you're facing something cheesy, whatever it is.
Yeah. So that's what I do for cheese. I'm working on now trying to detect Zerg rushes. So, but there's a whole lot of different types of Zerg rushes, and there are different tells for a Zerg rush. Or there's also sometimes you can actually go hatch first and still do like, go into like Zerg rushes as well. So being able to discern those different, actually was one of my projects is now is like maybe doing a little bit of machine learning to just train on being able to detect. Like,
that's kind of what it, well, I mean, some bots do that where I think it's a basic, like they'll give a probability of what they think it is, or decide based on it. Because the way you would do it, I mean, and it's a lot like how machine learning will work. If you were doing it as a human, you're almost doing it as a game of 20 questions. Does he have 2 gases? Yes or no? Yeah. Does he have an expansion? Yes or no? Is the spawning pool done? Yes or no? Like you're just making a binary decision tree that leads you to one of the options.
So that's what I currently have. Yeah. So right now I have is like, what time was the spawning pool created at? So, you can see in the API how long it's been built, and that calculate backwards at what time. Yeah. Do you have an expansion? Do they have did they get a queen? Did they not get a queen? And then how many drones? That's kind of where I'm at right now. But I didn't know you could look how much gas has been mined, which might be an interesting, or minerals or.
I mean, if I were to code like good scouting, the very first thing I would do would be collecting all the information. So send your worker in, count all the workers they have. Look at their structures, like figure out when they started, if you can, all these structures, like if they're in production.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then from there, if you have all the information, then you can make all the calculations afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, so right now what I do is I just give it a score, right? And then if I see these things get discovered, if like there's no expansion, it's like a +2, and if there's like a spawning pool at this time, it's +5, and when it reaches the threshold, and I have different like columns for the type of rushes, so it reaches this threshold, then it triggers a response, or that threshold, then it triggers a response. That's kind of like my solution right now. It's not super accurate, but like that's how I kind of get the probability of it, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. And then obviously with proxies, it's like there's always things missing, right?
Yeah, well, proxies
If
are
there's
a
no
lot easier.
barracks, or even if there's a worker missing where there should be one, or a pylon missing where you should have a pylon.
Yeah, proxies are a lot easier because there's like nothing in the base.
Yeah, a big yeah. The area which you're never going to get 100% is because, of course, someone can always do things wrong. or like unusual, right? So like this is the optimal. But
bots are pretty dumb when it comes to like other build orders, so
Yeah.
you can't be 100% certain of anything.
Yeah.
We starting to see bots who like take too early gas and then don't build anything that requires gas for 5 minutes. And
Yeah, you just
never
try to
know.
just create probability. Like what you try to reduce as many false positives as possible.
Yes, you do. Yeah, there's a technique like in poker where you try and establish what your opponent's range is, and then basically, but your assumption is if everything they did was a correctish decision, then they should have this. If they don't have that, and of course they don't know that, they could just be some idiot and do something that doesn't make any sense. But if they do, the idea is as long as you're playing optimal, it's good that they deviated. What you're doing works in the long run. But yeah, it's basically I've got a possibility space, and as they make decisions, I rule out possibilities. So if he raised, well, he didn't raise with a 2 and a 7. So I take away that possibility. Oh, now he called me. Well, he wouldn't have just called if he already had a flush. So I take away that possibility. So you do it kind of like that. You eliminate things that they can't be doing
There's a
until
technical
you're
term
left.
for that. It's like negative. Oh, I can't remember it, but where it's like you remove the possibilities of
Negative
adding
induction.
Yes,
Well, it's
yes.
it's the Sherlock Holmes method. Once you remove all things that must be impossible, whatever you're left
whereas
with, no
left
matter
is-
how improbable, must be the correct answer. So yeah,
I love. This is my favorite part of this kind of stuff.
yeah.
I always find this stuff really intriguing to think about, like just having different mental models of how to approach problems and solving it. But that was tonight's games, and congratulations to DominionDog. They'll be joining us. Actually, let's take a look at the brackets. Let's see where it came. Just a little bit of a little recap. DominionDog coming down from defeating Apidae, defeating Mike, defeating Aeolus, LunaxVRR. I guess it's like, is that maybe related to RAFR? Never mind. Sharkbot, and then SharpenedEdge, all defeated by DominionDog. Like Endersword said, we could have had that Grim Reaper graphic ready if I actually thought it was going to be true. I did not foresee it, and here we are. And DominionDog.
Somebody added to the end card of the video.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, Aeolus was another one. Had the right build against that Marauder
Yeah.
opener. He had that Void Ray, that unopposed Void Ray in his base, and
Yes,
just
and
kind of
it's out
botched the
there.
Micro a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was opportunities for DominionDog to lose for sure.
yeah.
I mean, and I think I've heard this before. I think it is, what's that? Is it Cobblestone? He was like, he played on Humans versus ProBots, and he's like, I'm gonna make a bot. Is it Cobblestone? It might have been Cobblestone.
That rings a bell. Yeah.
Who played Humans versus ProBots, and then he's like, I'm gonna make a bot because I totally could do it. And then he went and made a bot, and he was like, oh crap, this is harder than I
This is
thought.
hard.
Yeah. It actually, I'm sure many of people would be like, wow, the bots seem so silly. How come they didn't do this? This seems so easy. But like, it's pretty difficult for these, like, or is it Cognite? It might be Cognite.
Cognite sounds right, yeah.
I think it's Cognite.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's Cognite. Who became a bot author after he played Humans versus ProBots. And then, he's found firsthand it can be quite challenging.
There's a lot of things that the more intuitive you are as a person or player or whatever, often the harder it is to codify what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Because it just makes sense to you. Like, and when you go to explain it to other people, you're like, you give them like well, in this, don't do this, or this, don't do this. Never move your knight to the edge of the board. And then you do it the next game, and you're like, well, yeah, but in that case, of course I did. Like, it just makes sense to you to do, but it's not, it's hard to codify.
It's the hardest thing is like intuition, right? How do you give a bot intuition? How do you know intuitive to dive on this, dive on this tank? I saw I talked to Rasper about it, how he knows to dive and uses a certain like percentage of if the tank is here and here is that, but like, there's so many edge cases of which that could not be true, and that's a problem. So bot authors will put in the best solution they can, but there's so many edge cases that just take you out of it. So
it's hard to understand that if you don't build a bot yourself.
Exactly,
like,
that's what I mean.
You see a Marine in a scenario do something stupid, then you gotta think like a Marine can be in like a million different scenarios, and you gotta like generalize that down to like 20 different cases, right? So you gotta put your Marine in like 20 different roles at most, and then that has to cover all million edge cases, and like sometimes they'll look stupid because of an edge case where the generalization doesn't work well.
And it's understanding that where that edge is often explains some of the weirder behavior of like, well, of course I approach them if I'm 20 feet away, but of course I run away if I'm 19 feet away. It's way too close. So then you just get the bouncing. And like in early seasons, we saw that. Like there's still that example I bring up of, well, if I got 30 mutas, then I jump on turrets, but not 29. It's way too few. So then it jumps on, loses one, and retreats. Jumps on, loses one, and retreats. Like you get that, but you get that a lot. HJax was the one that did it. But you get that sort of thing. And then how do you smooth those edges? Because when a computer makes a decision, it makes a firm decision. And there's no like, but I'm already, it doesn't do that. It's like, I've decided I'm making the new decision. So.
Well, it changes states, right? It's in a new state where it's like, I'm at 29, time to go home, right? And so, and I think that was specifically with diving turrets. That was diving turrets, and we're like,
state action, reaction, state action.
And I think it's the same thing that Ketrock you ended up solving that by just having like, what was it, YOLO mode? Was that you ended up having?
You want to have two thresholds for everything. You want to have like a going in threshold and a retreating threshold. You can't use the same threshold for both those scenarios. Or you got what he says, like, I got 20 units, that's enough. And then as soon as you step in and lose one unit, it's like, I'm at 19, so now I have to run away. And it's like, I'm back to 20 again. Let's go in again. So, if you're attacking with 20 units, then you're not retreating until you drop below 5. If those two thresholds are far enough away, then that kind of prevents the bouncing. And that's like for all sorts of things. You want the positive and negative thresholds.
Well, if you have been watching here at home and you want to start your own bot, good news, there is a template for you to get you started in the description below, and you can join this bot talk and you can learn what we're talking about. I admit, like for me, I jumped into this and it's quite addictive, and it is you do get to have an appreciation for some of the work that a lot of these bot authors put in, and some of the most top bot authors, -0, speaking to him, talking to -0 on like what the things that go into -0, it actually, it's a little intimidating. Not to intimidate if you guys get started, whatever, but I'm just like, you're a genius. So, it's and -0 will be the first to tell you that it's like. It's nothing special for him because he actually's not like classically coded, trained in coding. So he's just all on his job. So like there's just the craft of it, of building a bot, consumes you, and you become creative that way. So you don't have to feel intimidated if you're not like a top level program, whatever. As you're building a bot, you'll come up with new ideas and new solutions and whatnot. It's just a giant puzzle, really. So that's how I look at it. All right, so that's our show for tonight. Those of you out there, obviously, if you haven't checked out Laughing Game's version of the game of this, check it on his channel, Laughing Games. I'll leave a link as well for you guys to check out the he's doing three broadcasts, so you can go check out how his side of the bracket turned out. Other than that, we will see you guys for the main event with DominionDog plus whoever comes out on his side. And then we'll see who wins Sideloaded for 2025. All right, everyone, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.